All right, we're back on the Stamy Funeral Home post-game show, and we're going to hand out some hardware and then head to the house, Matt. So let's start out with, what do you want to start out with, offense or defense?
Let's go offensive player.
Okay, hold on. That's brought to you by Hojo Power Sports of Shelby.
Let's go Ben Mooney, 13 completions, 24 attempts, 336 yards, 4 touchdowns. Incredible night tonight for Ben. Like I say, we've seen his progression since his freshman year. We saw him in middle school, and we knew he was something special back then, and he just developed so much as a player, quarterback, a person throwing the ball extremely well out there.
All right, your Hojo Power Sports player, offensive player of the game, Ben Mooney. Now, what about our defensive player of the game, brought to you by Homestar Financial of Shelby?
I got to go Kahari Haynes. It seemed like he was always in the right place at the right time. Has 9 total tackles for tonight. He dropped back in coverage. Remember what we was talking about, dropping a guy back, in the middle, trying to prevent that little cross pattern. It did that some. He's such a good defensive player on the edge. It's hard to run on the outside with him because he's so quick. So good game tonight, Kahari Haynes.
Kahari Haynes, your Homestar Financial defensive player of the game. Now time for our overall player of the game, brought to you by S&R Auto Sales of Shelby.
Well, we could talk all night about Ryan Thompson, and that will be our guy for sure. Check out this stat line: 6 catches, 217 yards, 4 touchdowns, 39 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 5 overall touchdowns tonight. Played exceptional on defense as well. On cornerback, he was just all over the place. Couldn't stop him, couldn't find an answer for him. He's just exciting to watch, Tom. He's just, what can you say? You kind of speechless out there when you see him play. Made some of the Monroe defenders look silly out there. And just a big-time night for Ryan Thompson.
So our overall player of the game, S&R Auto Sales of Shelby, North Carolina. So the scoreboard from around the area, Kings Mountain, unfortunately, their season ends tonight. South Point's moving on. Burns, moving on. We'll be at Reedsville next week. Check the website for our broadcasting schedule, but we will have some kind of coverage, audio, video, or both. So just check out the website and just check out my Facebook page, and we'll let you know and post the links appropriately. So once again, on your Main Street Hardware scoreboard, it's Burns moving on for the right to go to the state championship game. They win 49-40 over the Monroe Redhawks. Thank you for listening to Burns Football. It's been brought to you by West End Sales, Contracted Pyrotechnics. And this post-game show is brought to you by the Stamy Tysinger Funeral Home. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer here from Wright's Jewelry in Boston. Did you miss our store-wide Black Friday?
Have you got a ping, pang, ding going on with your car or truck? Then take it to A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. A-Plus Automotive does all types of automotive repairs, from tune-ups to oil changes and complete diagnostic work. And they are a North Carolina inspection station with over 30 years of experience. See A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. They also do AC and heater repair. Get her running today with a stop at A-Plus Automotive, 1900 Elizabeth Avenue in Shelby. See Charlie Heston today or call 704-482-0441 for A-Plus Automotive in Shelby.
2 locations to serve you. That's Auto Parts U-Pull and Scrap Metal, located at 1025 County Home Road in Shelby and now at 851 Car Farm Road in Lincoln. Auto Parts U-Pull and Scrap Metal will buy your junk car or even your house and come pull your own parts. New additions arrive every day. Admission fee is $2. They also buy copper, aluminum, steel, cast iron, tin, and brass. See the king of parts. Auto Parts U-Pull and Scrap Metal. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. 1025 County Home Road in Shelby and 851 Car Farm Road in Lincoln. Online at autopartsupull.com and see their page on whatsupshopper.com. Like them on Facebook too.
incredible man. I only do things incredible can. Cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do. When you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat. Showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me. Cause that's who I am.
The Full Throttle Power Sports post game show with Dennis, Will, Kevin, and Steve DeGree.
Steve,
He's hiding back there, so I had to look for a minute because I just saw a cowboy hat. So
good. I mean, you know,
had to be
ain't
him.
ain't nobody else wearing no cowboy.
Good
hat.
evening,
Well,
everybody.
no. There's There's
Hey, they won it.
I don't wear them anymore. He a Cleveland Brown.
Good evening, everybody. Big night across the board. We've got all kinds of scores to give you guys. Welcome. Hey, let's wave to our fans at home and on the cameras. This is everybody in the house. Shannon Allen's going to join us here in just a few minutes as well. We're going to have a full house tonight.
Oh, wow.
Kevin Hastings and Steve DeGree, Dennis Davis, and Will, the Thrill Boykins. All the scores are in except one. Huff and Grimsley is tied 30-30.
Yeah,
going into
That's a good one.
Second overtime. Second overtime. So, folks, there's our scores. If you're listening on the radio, you can tune in and watch our highlights and scores every Friday night here in the postgame show on KTC Broadcasting's YouTube channel. We're live, the postgame show, up until about 11:45 every night. Just depends on how we feel. And but Huff and Grimsley going to the second overtime right now. Somebody says, sidebar, Will, the DJ at this game has been slapping.
Uh-oh.
So who at this game been slapping?
The DJ at the Grimsley Huff game has been slapping, according to this reporter.
Okay.
So
You want to translate that for us folks?
I guess he walking around the field slapping people.
You ain't that old.
I don't know what
You
he's
ain't
talking
that
about.
He's playing some good tunes, Will.
Oh, that's
Playing
that
some
young
good
folk
tunes.
talk.
That's that young talk.
That's that young folk talk.
You're not on the. You're not on the.
Why would you look at me and say
the Twitter talk? You're not on the tweet talk.
I ain't on that Twitter talk?
Oh, I know.
That sounds like something my son would say
like
about food.
The food slapping.
Just remember,
Well-
Will, back when you were in high school, I was that hip teacher down the hall. Then I turned into that old man down the hall, and that's why I got out.
Stephen Crest boys don't know nothing really.
That's why I'm just being quiet.
Steve, don't you agree with him? Because you just looked at me and shook your head.
Wait a minute.
When I looked over there and asked you a question,
Because I have no idea what he's talking about.
That's what I was finna say. I was finna say, because
I just got rid of my flip flop.
Now,
I know, right?
There was an argument in the Kings Mountain press box tonight about whether they should play Smokey Robinson or 2 Chainz. So I just wanted to. I'll keep you
It was
updated.
an argument?
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Oh, my Lord.
That was playing some of the younger music, and someone said, well, "I'm
I'm more
like
of a
you
Johnny
guys,
Mathis
I'm
guy."
gonna turn the Smokey Robinson on up in here." I don't think the players wanted
Might
to
have
hear.
helped if they did.
Couldn't have hurt.
Anything was smoke.
I mean, a little Tears of the Crown might have been.
Ooh.
So we do got final scores for the folks listening at home. I'll give you the Huff Grimsley final as soon as we get to it. Let's start in the 1A. Mount Airy, the number 4 seed, Granite Bears, go to Eastern Randolph, the number 1 seed, and take them out. 35-17, and the Mount Airy Granite Bears will have a home game. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all ready for this one?
Hold your horses.
Burke County, you're in the Western Conference Finals. Drone Wildcats. 42-21 until this season had only
That
2
is
post-game
big
victories
time.
in school history.
That is big time.
That's right. Remember when we used to play them? We used to name our score. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you get drawn and go up to Valdez and play them, and man, it would be ugly about first quarter. So
Valdez.
hats off to those young men up in the
Yeah,
county.
that's
You
old.
will pay too much.
Yeah, that's definitely old. But Steve, you know, Andrews has been putting it on some people. What do you think about them Wildcats up there?
Like I say,
Grimsley takes 37-30 lead. Huff with the ball. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
it's it's good to get teams who haven't been winning to get the taste of winning because they've been everybody's doormat.
Yeah.
They was everybody's homecoming game.
Yeah.
And now now
So
people got to respect you.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Congrats
hats off
to the Wildcats.
right. The coach
Now,
over there
aren't-
did a great job.
Don't they? Aren't they? They've got the one that's got that really good quarterback, right? That's been tearing it up this year.
That school looks. I mean, if you pull down the drone, have you ever been down there?
I've actually did a Burns game at Drone, I
Beautiful.
believe.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they put it right there on the side of that hill, man. It is a beautiful place. Down
Beautiful.
So Drone again, folks. The number 6 seed will be going to number 4 Mount Airy next week in the 1A Western Final.
All right.
How about in the 2A? The 1A survives tonight. Reedsville 34-7 over the Maiden Blue Dove. I think it's 7, folks. I've seen 2 different things, 7 and 0. And Max Preps had 1. The Athletic Association, I think both of those had 7. Then the reports, Maiden's official Twitter said 0.
Anyway, Reedsville won.
Either way, Reedsville won, though. And Burns will have to travel to Reedsville next week. And so Bulldogs 49-40 winners over the Red Hawks of Monroe tonight in a shootout up in Lawndale. And defense has been a little leaky there, guys. They're going to have to, if they're going to give up 40, they might be another 40-49 game next week in Reedsville. That Burns will have to buckle
I
down
think
a
they
little
have
bit.
to clean that up on defense because
A little bit, probably.
They let them score too easy.
they let them score too.
I went to the second half of that game and I thought Burns would got up by 2 scores. I said, well, Burns got this game, but
If
right
Burns
after
had
they let him score.
where they let them break out is when they was 14-0, and they let them get the long play for the first down, and then that's where they started gaining some momentum from that play.
And
If they'd have stopped that little chunk play, if they'd have stopped that, it wouldn't even have been close.
And also, Will, they was doing that pooch kick like they was doing when we played Burns, but except for them guys, they was handling running it back. So sometimes they would have a short field and they score like one play.
Yeah.
But I got to say, fellas, I've told you before, when you play in Monroe, they're scrappy.
Oh, yeah.
They're good.
You did say
They
that.
got good coaching. And they're a tough nut to crack. And I was afraid they were going to come to Lawndale tonight and rain on the parade up there. But Burns was able to hold on. Mooney had a good night flinging the football. And now they got to go down to Reedsville. Now, what that's going to bring, I don't know.
Thompson? Is it Ryan Thompson?
Ryan Thompson, yeah. All right, we've got on the phone right now, broadcaster at the game, David Potter. David Potter. At the
Shannon
game
Allen's here, too. He's fixing to join us.
He was at the Burns game. David's on the phone right now. David, you've been broadcasting this East Lincoln Mustang team all night, and everyone in the state's been looking forward to this matchup tonight. And then
They didn't live up to the bill.
we didn't even get into the first quarter, and East Lincoln had just put the smackdown on the Mountaineers. And it's not like, what's surprising from everyone is it was big play after big play after big play after big play.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was touchdown for the Mustangs and a big win tonight.
And before we get started, Kevin, we cheated him out at one point. It was really 47.
Was it 47?
No, it was 46.
On the scoreboard, it kept showing 47.
They put something on the scoreboard on that one touchdown that was called back, and they didn't rewind the scoreboard correctly. It was 46. They did correct it at the game after a bit.
It didn't matter.
Yeah,
but they had plenty of points, 46, 47. Who cares at that point?
Well, I'm just glad for one night we didn't have a pregame show, or Shannon and I might have been embarrassed by what we predicted to happen in that game.
Well, based on what I talked with the 2 coaches about, we had a pregame show as well. We had interviews taped with them. It didn't look anything like either coach thought it was going to.
Yeah.
Believe me. And actually, Kings Mountain outgained East Lincoln.
Really?
Believe it or not. 449 to 427. Problem was that many times, especially in the first half, when they got down the field, they'd have a good drive going, penalty, tackle for a loss, and they might have been in field goal range, and all of a sudden they're back to the 40-yard line, and they got a point. And then East Lincoln and the explosive plays was just crazy. I bet their time of possession in the first half was maybe 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, I was fixing to say.
First play from scrimmage, and then Cutter with a big run, Daly with another big run, Keandre Walker with a touchdown return, 75 yards on an interception. I mean, they scored every way possible, it seemed like.
Well, it seemed to me like maybe the East Lincoln defense was going to wear out because they spent all night on the field. But the offense, it seemed like every 3 or 4 plays, they would score again.
And we talked about that on the air. We wondered if they were going to get fatigued because they have a lot of guys that go 2 ways, but then they have some that are just defensive only, and they were out there a ton, a lot of time.
I thought that pick six was huge. Like, they was going in.
I thought this was going to go to the fourth quarter, maybe overtime. I mean, it was just, this one had all the makings of just going to be a fist fight all the way to the end. And with the explosive plays, I mean, Chris Daly in his first 6 carries had 170, or first 5 carries had 176 yards.
That's not too bad.
That's a big day.
Not a bad, 35 yards per carry. Not too bad.
Yeah.
And that pick six I was talking about, like when Kings Mountain was going to score, like the receiver went one way and I think he went out and the quarterback threw it. He went in, the quarterback threw it out to that number 2 you was telling him, and he picked it off and ran it back for a touchdown. That was huge right there. That made a big difference in it.
That play was Littlejohn didn't have a lot of time to set up the pass. He was getting rushed, and he threw it probably early, and Walker was just sitting there and broke on it, and away he went.
Well, I've got a question for you. We've talked all year, and everybody that's seen them has talked about Kings Mountain's defensive front and their offensive front. Where were they tonight? Did they not get in the gate or something over there? What happened?
They were there. I had a quick conversation with Coach Lubowitz afterwards, and he said they were trying to take advantage of the fact they had so many people close to the line. All they had to do was get a crease and Chris get through that, and there weren't a lot of people far enough from the line of scrimmage to run them down. I mean, they had a lot of people within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. There weren't a lot of people playing deep like safety or something. So once he got in the clear, there was nobody home, and it was the same thing on Markel Clark's touchdown. He beat his man, and there was no help.
Well, a lot of their plays went long and deep, and that was what you were wondering. How did they do that? And so you're seeming to say that what they did was they were able to defeat the Kings Mountain defense at the line of scrimmage, and then once they had gotten past that, it was pretty much a free shot right up the middle.
Yeah, there wasn't really a second line. Everybody was so close to the line of scrimmage. There wasn't, 10 in the box, but it was 10 within 5 yards spread out across the field. Because, they've got to be spread out pretty good because East Lincoln's going to come out 2 wide on either side wide receiver. So that you've got to move at least 4 people out for that. That only leaves 7 towards the middle of the field, and they were all up pretty close.
I watched them. I think we called it a 22 set. They had 2 wide receivers, 2 beside, and they was giving it to him on the dive or off tackle. And once, like you said, once he broke past the linebackers, there was nobody there because those guys had to go out and cover those 4 receivers, and they left the middle wide open.
Well, everybody's talked about Kings Mountain speed and quickness this year, but tonight we saw some speed and quickness from East Lincoln.
Well, they've always had it. It's just they haven't had to use it very much. It's there. Markel Clark is very quick. Keandre Walker's still moving pretty good, although his left hamstring, I think, is still giving him a bit of an issue. But he was quick enough to get done what he needed to do. And then Chris Daly, has just done a fantastic job at running back for them. But the thing is, when you go against these spread offenses, if you can get some decent blocking and you've got everybody spread out like that, you can do well in the running game. That's what Ole Miss does, Mississippi State, the air raid. A lot of the teams on the college level, if they've got that spread going, it can open it up for the running game too.
Well, I think they answered the question tonight. Everybody said, East Lincoln hasn't really played the competition this year that a Kings Mountain has played. And I think tonight they answered that question, that we can play that kind of competition. We're capable of doing it. We're better than anybody's seen. We've just been coasting along, and tonight they hit the turbo on that offense.
Yes, they did. I mean, just the number, I'm looking through the sheet here, 40-yard touchdowns, 40-yard punt return, 60-yard touchdown, 75-yard touchdown interception return, 80-yard touchdown run, 93-yard touchdown pass. I mean, there's 300-some yards of offense right there.
Well, I think they ought to go over there and check the East Lincoln oxygen bottles. They probably got nitrous oxide in them or something.
I'll let you check that. I sound weird enough. If I start breathing that stuff in, I'm going to sound even worse than I do now.
Well, David, just my first thoughts, just watching some of the Mustangs warm up and then watching them here in the game. You named the thing is you named 5 touchdowns longer than 40 yards right there off the top of your head. Besides that, I did hear Jason a couple of times talking about. And you guys mentioned the Kings Mountain, how they were playing so close to the line, and then they would find that crease and get like one of the runs. The Kings Mountain defenders will shut one of those last ones. They hit him in the backfield, and he ended up running for 80 yards. So that stood out to me. I tell you what else stood out to me was watching Mizell throw the ball in warm ups. That ball comes out of his hand, and he's got quite a little arm there on him.
It's tight spiral, and it can go. I mean, he can heave it down the field.
I'm very impressed with watching the ball come out of his hand.
Yeah, it's not a big delivery. The quarterback for East, he don't have a big delivery. He had very short motion in the throw. It comes out of his hands quick.
It looks great. Him and the kid from Monroe both looked good tonight throwing the ball. So David, you guys got South Point next week. So whether or not South Point can stop your offense or not, this is a different type of a game that they'll have to play, stopping the Redbone offense. And we've made the last 2 weeks, guys, the teams have been familiar with the Redbone. Eastern Guilford lost to them last year 10-7. So they've seen it. And this year, my question for you guys, David, and I guess for Coach Lewis and the gang is being able to stop the Redbone without having played it or being familiar with it at all. And usually teams that are familiar with it have a lot better chance than teams
wait a minute, Kevin. Beam has seen
Matt
the
Beam,
South Point
Matt
one.
Beam. Yeah, Coach Beam was on the East Lincoln team. That'd help him some right there, being he coached at Burns. But anyway, you're still going to stop it though. You can't top it. You're going to stop it.
I mean, you can design everything to come out to stop that play, but you gotta. It's assignment football. You got to stop it.
All right, Dave, go ahead. Sorry.
But they've seen teams similar to that. Look what West Lincoln does. I mean, they didn't play him this year, but they've played him before. North Lincoln runs the ball like crazy, and it took a little bit for East Lincoln to adjust to that. First possession, they went right down the field, but then they made the adjustments they needed to, and then they stuffed North Lincoln the rest of the game.
Well, the biggest issue, David, and I'll say it out loud. I'll say it out loud that none of the else will, is that you got to be used to getting chop blocked. And if they ain't used to getting chop blocked and then running the same thing, them D-line ain't going to be happy about it. That score right there, 39-7. That's the one I was talking about.
Look at this block on the inside right here. Look, boom, lay down.
That's that big number 72.
Yeah, we're just watching one of the plays.
There were several chop blocks called on Kings Mountain tonight.
Yeah, did they? That's why I was hearing Jason talk about that.
They did.
There were 3. I think there were 3 of them.
You know 72's name off top of your you don't know 72's name for East Lincoln, do you?
No, number 44 is
David,
Richardson, right?
72?
The offensive lineman.
Richardson is
we're watching him pancake a linebacker
is
right
his
now.
First name Shamu?
he's a big bull.
He's a big.
So I also saw when East Lincoln walked on the field, They walked on the field like they owned the place. They did. They was not intimidated. They wasn't intimidated when they came on the field.
We'll see in the final score. I believe they did own it, Steve.
Right. I'm saying it wasn't like we Kings Mountain. We're gonna do this.
Josh
We're gonna
Gilbert is 6'6", 340, but he's not the biggest player on that team. There's a defensive lineman, Zamir Ross, who's even bigger. They don't even put his weight on here.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
6'6", 340, huh?
Yeah, 72 stood out because that was my number. So that's what made me notice him.
Yeah.
I noticed him because of that play right there. That's why I noticed him. I noticed him during the game. He kept, anytime that something broke in the middle, he was part of that break.
Look at him. Not 44. Like he wasn't even.
That's a big younger.
I
didn't even know they had anything that big that far in Denver.
He'd look good in green and gold, Will.
He played both ways too.
He would look normal in green and gold.
Yeah,
because that's what we're used to up there.
Yeah, he played a little bit he played defense too.
Yeah, he played a little bit. He didn't play a whole lot.
Well, Dave, we're excited about this game. Mustangs 1 win away from a state championship. Now, where that is, for the folks are wanting to know where they are, David. So I'll give you guys, everyone, an update that they have posted, but they haven't put where each one will be. The assignments, the 3A will be at NC State. It'll be at 3 o'clock or 7 o'clock. The 2A for you Burns fans will be either Friday at 7 or Saturday morning at 11 a.m. So for Burns, if you in Reidsville, it'll be Friday at 7 or Saturday at 11 in Chapel Hill. So Burns, you'll be going to Chapel Hill if you can make it. David, you guys got an appointment at Carter Finley Stadium in 2 weeks if you guys can pull that one off.
Well, I was just there Wednesday night in the parking lot of it for hockey, so I'm quite familiar with how to get there.
All right, David, any other final thoughts or since you was at the game, this big game night, of course.
It was amazing. You're just like every big play, and you just look around and everybody's stunned. I mean, we're looking at the other people that are working in the booth. They're looking around. Everybody's throwing their hands up like, what the heck is going on? It was just totally unexpected. Yeah. But that's what you get with sports sometimes.
Kings Mountain broadcast was so stunned at halftime they already threw their hats in. It's just not our night. It's their night, and it's not our night. That's what they left the kids with. So I was like, wow.
Okay.
It's a little early to throw it in. I mean, I get it. They're up big, but it was a little early to throw it in.
Because this 19-7 wasn't like last week's 19-7.
No.
Because next thing you know, it was 26-7.
Well, last week's was more like they did it to themselves. And then this week was East Lincoln just did it to them.
Well, they turned Kings Mountain turned the ball over.
Right. I mean, before it
interception.
Before it got there, he threw the interception.
Right.
And then they punted the ball, and nobody covered the punt. So it was a couple of things they had done. I was like, wow, they're going to play this back to the last minute again. And then this play happened, and this kid went 200 yards on a 1st and 10. So
there it goes.
If that stop sign hadn't been up there, he'd still be running right now.
No, I think he would have kept going. I don't care if Alabama's sign was holding up like they did for Forrest Gump. He was not stopping.
Well, speaking of questions,
he was almost in Denver when he was already back at the school.
He's running the wrong direction.
Has he got any college offers? Has he got any college offers? This running back keeps down the field.
Sophomore.
He's a sophomore.
Oh, sophomore. Yeah. Well, like I said, has he got any college offers?
He might soon, but they can't talk to him yet.
Yeah.
I don't think they can even email him yet. Maybe by July, I think, going into his junior year, they can contact you by email or something like that. But he can't even be contacted yet.
Okay.
Well, David, have a good weekend. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, all of you.
South Point at East Lincoln next week on WCSL 92.9. We'll be on the radio again next week, David, and LincolnCounty.com, sir.
That'd be a good one.
Yes, we will.
All right. Thank you, David.
All right. Thank you.
David Potter with Jason Sane tonight, and Matt Chapman helping out up there in the booth. Want to say hey to Joel Hughes. He was there too. Watching the highlights right now. This made it 46-20 on the extra point in the final, of course, 46-20 for the folks listening on the radio. We're watching the highlights here on KTC Broadcasting, and we're going to go right back through them. Steve, if you'd hit the computer button there for me. Right there. Yep. And then I got to turn this off. Let's turn the desktop. All right, let's try this. Yeah, that worked. All right, that's the East Lincoln Mustangs entering the field.
As he said, they entered like that.
And then Kings Mountain as
They
well.
fans traveled well. East's fans traveled very well. I didn't expect them to travel that well, but they traveled very well.
This is the interception to start the game here, and we didn't get the touchdown, made it 6-0. And we got on the phone right now. Well, I'll put this on mute. Jeff Miller on the phone. He was over at Kings Mountain tonight. Jeff, what's up? You there?
Hey, yes, sir. Hope y'all are doing well.
So you didn't go over to the Gaston County game, huh? You snuck over to Cleveland County to check out the big game here this Friday, huh?
Well, we put it in writing. That's where I would be earlier this week, so I figured to, bolt on you guys like that would be doing the fans dirty, so I wasn't going to do that.
All right, Jeff. Well, what did you think? We're all kind of in stunned of the dominance that East Lincoln put on display tonight. What did you see on your end as far as the Mustangs and how they handled the Mountaineers tonight?
Well, let's put it this way. I try and pick my spots where I start doing highlights and all that. By the time I could get my camera set up to do a highlight, there goes East Lincoln for a touchdown. That was first play after that interception by the linebacker. And then that punt return for a touchdown where it took a bounce, and then the East Lincoln guy decided to pick it up. I mean, it was like he was going through a maze and finally reached his destination with success. That made it 12-0, and I was like, man, Kings Mountain better buckle down, otherwise this could be a long night. And, the rest of the story. East Lincoln goes up 19-0, then Kings Mountain finally gets on the board 19-7, and before halftime, and it looked like a bad miscommunication between the quarterback and the running back on the screenplay, because it looked like he wasn't looking for it, or, he stumbled, and then the defensive back, the same one who returned the punt and got reception for a touchdown, took the interception for another touchdown. That number 2, Keandre Walker.
Yep.
Man, he was like a do-it-all guy for East Lincoln tonight.
Yes, he was. You're right. Punt returns, interceptions, kick return, he stood out on the video to me big time. I was going to mention him at some point tonight. I'm glad you did, Jeff. He just made some big plays. You've seen East Lincoln here in person against Kings Mountain. Remember, Kings Mountain beat South Point. So what do you feel about the Red Raiders playing this East Lincoln bunch coming up next week?
Well, South Point's going to be a totally different animal offensively. That Redbone offense is a load to stop. But South Point's defense will have to be ready for East Lincoln's athleticism on offense. If they give East Lincoln too much space, they could pay for that.
Well, Jeff, you've seen them both. Who are you leaning towards next week right now?
I am definitely going to lean toward East Lincoln, but I am going to lean toward basically a close game, like 28-21 or what have you, maybe even a 27-24 ball game. South Point has a way of shortening the games, and I feel like
they were the first game done tonight.
Be a lot closer. Whatever y'all did to Kings Mountain tonight, South Point's going to see that on film, and they'll be like, we're going to make sure they don't do that to us this week. So. But I know Kings Mountain made some adjustments after halftime to basically get a couple scores out there, and defense, I think, stepped up to I think they did a better job of stopping East Lincoln a little bit more in the second half, but East Lincoln could have also been just going through the motions. So it's really hard to tell. But I think do not expect the East Lincoln South Point game to be a blowout. Expect it to be a slobber knocker.
Okay.
All right, Jeff. Well, are you gonna be up there in Denver next week?
Yep, Alan and I have talked about the possibility of tag teaming it. Now, if I get my seasonal job, which I'm hoping to, I mean that could possibly stifle that. But I know Alan will be there, and if I don't have that seasonal job next week, then he and I can double team it.
Are you playing Santa Claus at the mall again?
Well, I'm probably heavy enough that I could, but I don't think I'm ready for that gig yet.
I think you do a great job. You're a very nice fella, Jeff.
I always thought Jeff was just. I've always pictured him as a little camera guy on the sideline. I never did expect him to be a big guy.
Yeah, he'd whip you. All right, Jeff.
Think about fighting, Jeff. What the world?
I'm just messing. All right, Jeff. Any other final thoughts, comments on this week on the big games?
This is the players.
Nope. Then there were 3: South Point, East Lincoln, and Burns.
Yep. Reedsville gone. Drone still available. What do you think about them Wildcats?
I tell you what, they've surprised me. I mean, the Drawn Andrews game I thought could go either way. I thought maybe Andrews would have home field advantage, but Drawn continues to make their doubters eat some nice crow.
Yeah, they almost ended up with a home game. They're going to number 4 Mount Airy next week. Well, I appreciate it, Jeff. It's good seeing you tonight. Hope you had fun down in Kings Mountain, and hope you get to go to a game next week if you want to or get to. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes,
thank you, Jeff.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Jeff.
Hey, Kevin, I just got a message from Terry Reinhardt. It says Reedsville defense. Hey, Terry, what do you mean? What do they run? Oh, they're pretty good on defense. So Burns might have their hands full.
They played Maiden.
Don't read it.
They played Maiden. Let's get real on that.
Send those cards and letters.
Hold on a minute.
What'd you say?
I said they played Maiden. I mean,
Right.
They're not okay. Maiden.
What you want to say about Maiden?
Well, I mean, Maiden wasn't going to beat them. Maiden don't have the team to beat them. You know, I expect the Reedsville to win, but Terry, you got to understand, Maiden. This isn't.
Terry, what's your problem with Terry Reinhardt? What's your problem with Cleveland County?
He also said if South Point scored less than 21, the other team was gonna win. East Lincoln gonna win. He just sent me a text. South Point or less.
Go to bed, Terry.
Why do y'all even? If he wanted to be here, he'd be here. Why are y'all?
He don't care nothing about us. Why we pay him any attention? He don't even care about us.
That's what I'm saying, Will.
He just comes for the biscuits on Saturday morning.
All right, Shannon Allen's in the house. After we take this break, we're going to be right back, and Shannon is going to tell us a little bit about that Burns game he was at tonight, where the Bulldogs pull off a victory. Him and Steve was at both games tonight, believe it or not, folks. So he had his KTC.
He's a time traveler.
He had his KTC helicopter going up there in Cleveland County. Hey, when they build that shortcut up there, it'll be even quicker, won't it?
So, I give it up for the company.
No, JP gives it up for the company.
Yeah, JP had a tough night tonight. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
JP totaled his car tonight, boys.
Have you got a ping, pang, ding going on with your car or truck? Then take it to A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. A-Plus Automotive does all types of automotive repairs, from tune-ups to oil changes and complete diagnostic work. And they are a North Carolina inspection station with over 30 years of experience. See A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. They also do AC and heater repair. Get her running today with a stop at A-Plus Automotive, 1900 Elizabeth Avenue in Shelby. See Charlie Heston today or call 704-482-0441 for A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. Check out the fall savings at Bill Shuford Heating and Air in Shelby. Keep warm this winter with the new American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning System. Right now, get 0 APR financing for 72 months and payments as low as $85 per month. And American Standard is rated #1 in reliability. And remember, they service all brands. Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby. Online at BillShufordHVAC.com. Butler's Tire and Auto Service in Kings Mountain wants to help you out this holiday season. Now for a limited time, when you come in and mention this radio ad, take $20 off any $100 or more purchase. From automotive service repair to tires, you save money that you can spend this Christmas. Again, mention this radio ad and take $20 off any $100 or more purchase. But hurry, offer ends soon at Butler's Tire and Auto Service, 404 East King Street in Kings Mountain, right across from KFC. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too. 4 generations. Now think about that. 4 generations of serving our area, providing understanding, care, and comfort to help you through a difficult time. That's Cecil M. Burton Funeral Home and Crematory. That's over 90 years of experience, knowledge, and tradition. Their staff takes pride in the professionalism your family will receive. Cecil M. Burton Funeral Home and Crematory, 106 Cherryville Road in Shelby. Online at CecilMBurtonFuneralHome.com. Call 704-480-8383.
People ask, why are prices on furniture at Cummings Furniture in Shelby so much lower than other furniture stores? The answer? Low overhead. Yes, low overhead means lower prices to you, their customers. No wonder they've been in business for almost 50 years, with name brands too like Ashley, Park Place, Bassett, Catnapper, and more. And buy one recliner, get one free. And check out their truckload mattress sale. Prices start at $5.99 at Cummings Furniture, 410 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at CummingsFurnitureofShelby.com.
Here's good news from Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville and the Boston Pharmacy in Fallston. Both locations now have flu shots available. Come get yours today so you'll feel good all winter long. For details, call Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville at 704-435-3263 or the Fallston Pharmacy in Fallston at 704-538-3021. Medical Center Pharmacy, 607 East Academy Street in Cherryville, and the Fallston Pharmacy, Highway 18 North in Fallston.
If you're ready to make the great escape, do it with the #1 brand on the water. Yamaha Wave Runners are the most premium personal watercraft on the market, with industry-first features and exciting new products like the all-new 2021 BX Series with audio packages, the much-anticipated Superjet, and the new race-ready GP Series. This is Wave Runner country. See one today at Full Throttle Power Sports, located at 100 Indian Walk off I-85 in Laurel.
If you live in a mobile home, or maybe you own a mobile home park, either way, listen up. H&M Industries in Shelby now sells mobile home supplies. They have everything you need. Mobile home windows, mobile home doors, vinyl, and more. And with H&M Industries, you get wholesale pricing. That's H&M Industries, located at 3931 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at HMIWindows.com and like them on Facebook too. Get your mobile home supplies today at H&M Industries. Old Tom Turkey is scared out of his wits. Old Jim here just purchased a brand new Traeger grill from Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain. Hometown Hardware is your Traeger grill headquarters. In addition to grills, you'll find Traeger accessories, including pellets, sauces, and rubs, and turkey brine kits too. Plus, see the line of Lodge cast iron cookware and Marlin Pro cutlery. That's Hometown Hardware, 110 South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain. Online at hometown-hardware.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
And we're back on the Full Throttle Power Sports post game show. I was somewhere else, but we're back. Kevin's fixing some cameras and everybody else is getting set up.
Shannon's mic was on. That's all that matters.
Welcome to Kevin Broadcasting.
Good job, JP. Welcome back, JP. Are you okay? We have to check on JP. We don't have the camera on him in there because we got Shannon in here tonight. But JP, are you okay?
Yeah, my ankle's hurting me a little bit, but I mean that's to be understandable. So.
Mm-hmm. JP in an accident tonight.
JP, what time is it?
What day is it?
What time is it?
What time is it? What day is it and what time is it?
Well, it's Friday night, and it is. Let me get the time. It's 11:16.
Okay, good. You here?
You
with us? We good. All right.
Yeah. Take 2 aspirin and come do the show in the morning.
Yeah, I won't be here in the morning.
Yeah, he's gonna take tomorrow off. All right, we got highlights of Burns.
We still love you, JP.
And Monroe. And since with Steve and Shannon here, I want to let them kind of talk us through everything that happened. Let me scroll back. And, of course, Bulldogs with the best entrance around.
Bulldog.
When you're
what is that? What was that?
I was sitting with some Crespi. Well, they were standing by me. Let's just put it that way. And
I like
they were
to
a
hear
little too
that
happy.
again. Can you turn that back?
I'm out. We're going to. What's he talking about?
Steve Spurrier. They got fireworks coming in when they go down there. Steve Spurrier.
I'm not going to comment on what they were talking about.
Yeah.
What does Steve Spurrier got to do with the fireworks, Shannon?
Like I said, they were feeling a little good tonight. They were standing behind me.
Oh. You're not saying they weren't moonshining behind
No,
you.
I'm not saying that. They were just feeling. I'm not saying that. They were feeling good when they got there.
They know George.
I have to say something here. Normally I wouldn't, but to be honest, that's a bit of an overkill for an entrance. I'm sorry. I understand they're happy. I understand it's Burns.
No, it's not.
JP.
But still, it's a bit of an overkill. I mean, right? Come on. It's not the 4th of July out there.
You like it.
JP.
What?
Steve,
Look
you
at
got
who
the
the
fireworks when y'all,
sponsor. Look at who the sponsor for the Burns games on our channel is.
Who
Yeah,
is it?
that guy.
The
who's-
fireworks company.
Oh, well, okay.
hey.
Now I understand why it looks like the 4th of July.
After the
every
game,
time
he
they
did
come in.
fireworks too.
Yeah, do the same thing after the game.
Yeah,
Dustin Ledford contracted
Right.
pyrotechnics. Want to thank
he
him.
can do what he want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, now that I understand it's a fireworks, I understand why they make such a dramatic entrance.
Well,
But I'm
when
sorry,
you about
to
to drop
me,
49
it's,
on Monroe, you gonna drop fire lights?
I mean, to me, it just seems a bit of an overkill.
All right, JP. All right, for this, let's get back to the game.
JP, it's Steve Spurrier.
So the Monroe band tonight, Shannon, they're pretty good. You ever jamming?
Yeah, they were really good. Monroe's probably got the best band I've heard in high school in a long time. They're really good.
Better than the Carver game.
Yeah,
Carver brought it.
Well, Carver brought everybody, but they didn't have many people. But yeah, just think like North Carolina A&T, small version of A&T band.
I like
that's
Florida A&M better.
Huh?
I like Florida A&M better.
Either one. I mean, it's
It's
nice.
about 100 of them though.
Yeah.
200.
Oh, it's about 200 of them.
Yeah.
About 250.
All right, this made it 14-6. I don't know how I got to this one first. Was this the first one you posted?
I don't know because the internet was so bad up there.
No, we had them all earlier.
Yeah. I didn't know the names of the Monroe. The Melton kid's number 23. He was fast as lightning from Monroe.
Get back to Shannon's.
But I don't know.
I know I
who.
saw your earlier were 7-0 and stuff, didn't I? I thought you put those out there. I'm for the folks watching at home.
I don't know when they went through.
Folks, I'm gonna tell you, this is not easy. What Shannon be doing, I tried it. I think they really fired me on the easy go, but they didn't want to tell me because I'm telling you, when you get the last play, you gotta send it in, and you gotta send a Twitter with it too. And if you don't type fast, by the time you send a message, then the next play done went by you.
Well, that's what
I know how you feel. That happened to me a lot.
Yeah, it's not easy.
That's what Jeff Miller was talking about. Is he didn't get a time to send his tweets.
Right.
He threw his hands up before he even caught the ball.
I'll tell you, I don't know how many touchdowns Ryan Thompson had, but if he's not the best player in 2A in the state of North Carolina, something's wrong. That kid beat Monroe by himself.
He had 4 touchdowns.
Was it 4?
I thought he had.
He had
5.
one called back. He had an 80-yarder called back.
Yeah, so he did have 4. Yeah, he had an 80-yarder call back.
That kid, he didn't even come off the field. He plays good defense, but they couldn't stop him on offense. And
they couldn't stop him returning the ball.
That was Kamari Surratt there, just on a little. I don't know what it was, just a little seam route, I guess.
Right, it is. He went right up the middle there.
being he's not his uniforms always clean, like they protect him real good.
They do a good job at Burns protecting him.
All right, last 2 weeks, guys, just noticed that here sitting in my studio, these mobile quarterbacks have given the Bulldogs a little trouble here the last few weeks, Shannon. You've been in the house. What do you think about that?
Yeah, they have. And that's, again, Burns, their strength and their defense is their linebackers back. Their front 4 are good, but once they get enough pressure on the quarterback, he just steps through the pocket, and then he's got room to run, and then Burns has to play catch up and try to get him. But yeah, they got to take into account for that now with the scrambling quarterback. Pretty much didn't have that, I don't guess, in the conference, not that I remember. But, yeah, this Salisbury last week and then Monroe this week. The kid from Monroe was good. I don't know if you saw him.
Yeah, I watched him. But the
got
ball.
a cannon for an arm.
I mentioned that in the red zone, Shannon, we were talking about. I said, you guys got to see this Monroe guy. The ball is flying out of his hand.
Yeah.
Well, what do you know about the Reidsville quarterback, Shannon?
It's the kid that played last year. Steve would know him. He's a lead kid. Al Lee.
Yeah.
He played for him last year. He's just a junior this year. He's, what I remember, he's pretty good. But again, Reidsville's going to beat you with their speed and just playing at home. That gives them an advantage up there.
It's about like playing South Point.
You're right.
You're down when you get off the bus.
You're right.
This ball come out early, Steve?
Well, the difference with Reidsville is they have athletes.
Yeah, they got the quarterback lead. They got Flippin, who's a receiver. He runs like maybe a 4.3. 40's pretty good.
This made it Burns 28-14. Ryan Thompson getting loose again. Touchdown for the Bulldogs. This was
just gets behind them. I mean, there's
2 yards.
I don't know why they couldn't. It's like they just let him get behind them. And
they didn't let him.
Well, that's true.
That safety got stiff-armed in the face.
He actually came back to get that one because he short-armed him.
So that right there, watching that, they were in a zone defense.
Mm-hmm.
The linebacker, if you're watching, guys, the linebacker follows Thompson. Thompson running out and up. Watch this linebacker with the hair right here. He follows the thing. Whoop, there he goes up. So he let the safety get him, and the safety didn't get him. Then he got stiff-armed.
Because, on defense, you'll talk. You got a certain part of the field, and then you pass them up to the next man. So that's what happened on that.
Yeah, you can, Steve, you're 100% right there. Watch that linebacker right there.
Comes out
with the hair. He comes out, and then he gets the flats because the other guy's right in front of him.
Right.
And this corner is supposed to follow back. And then what happens here, the corner looks at him like, they're all throwing their hands up at the safety. They just got stiff arm. So
because if he'd went with the with number 2, then they would hit the back.
I think one of them thought it was cover 2 or 3 and got mixed up back there. And
Fellas, that's what you call sitting in a turkey hole in the zone. He was in the turkey hole on the zone.
Well, the linebacker did his job.
Didn't he know it's Thanksgiving and turkeys get cooked?
Watch this throw right here, guys.
That's why he cooked the turkey.
Wide open, just slings it.
Nobody knows.
That was a nice little play call. Shannon slipping him out there right there. It's the slot came all the way across underneath.
Yeah, Burns, like I said, they stopped it on the right side. I thought he was going to the right, but he threw back across the field.
Number 6.
Extra point was huge, Shannon.
It was huge, yeah.
When they missed that extra point, that changed the whole complexity of the game.
Then they tried to go.
Yep.
They missed 2 extra points. One at the beginning and then one there at the end of the fourth quarter.
Special teams is so key in these playoff games, folks. This is the throw. Woo, laser. They had that little skinny post open a little bit tonight, Shannon, quite a bit. He hit that pass a few times.
I think Burns was just respecting their speed because they were giving them the middle of the field was open all night.
Right.
And then they just didn't want anybody to get behind them, I guess. But
he threw that ball about 30 yards on a rope. Like, it barely got over the defenders' heads.
And two, like you say, Shannon, the Burns secondary hadn't been tested. So this is the totally different game for them because they ain't never had to cover nobody all year.
Right. 35 to the 30.
Nobody threw the ball on them.
You're right. Shelby was probably the only team that effectively could throw it.
Right.
But they just didn't. I mean,
we never got off the bus.
Right. Yeah. But no, Kevin, the quarterback at halftime, I don't think I put it on Twitter. I know it's 60 yards in the air when he threw it. That was a great catch.
Oh, that last play, yeah. We were watching it.
Jeez almighty, that's a mean catch.
So watch this throw. Ben Mooney puts it up over the top of the defender, and a catch by Kamari Surratt.
This one I've got it at the highest point. Literally at the highest point.
That's the same kid got the interception. Right?
Yeah. And the DB thought
no,
he
that's Lamont Wilson got
right there. Watch the safety coming in behind him. He thinks he's got it picked. Oh, where's the guy got it? And then Shannon and over here playing in the band and the drum line. They give you a bass, Shannon?
Nah, they didn't give it to me. They were just so loud. Like I said, there's not many of them.
I love listening to the bands here on our show, on these shows. That's the Monroe Red Hawks, folks. Listen on radio.
I go Shannon back with the team.
Come on, man.
Shannon, you play an instrument?
I used to play the violin.
Really?
Years ago, played piano too.
Is that's the fancy way of saying fiddle, boy?
Fiddle.
He played a fancy fiddle.
Overgrown fiddle.
Charlie Daniels.
Yeah, it would be the overgrown fiddle.
I think that's the same one. It probably treated twice.
All right, Burns back to the score. This made it 42-28. Thompson getting loose again.
Drop that one in the bucket.
Again, now that was a good pass.
Yes.
That was a pretty good pass. He threw that between just where his receiver could run up on it. It was a good pass.
Ben Mooney had a good night with his touch passing tonight, guys.
300-something yards passing, 4 touchdowns.
I think he throws better under pressure. He did tonight anyway.
This is the Bulldogs band from the other side of the field.
I didn't get much of them because no, but talking about Ben Mooney, when he's under pressure, I think that's when he's better. Seems like him and Thompson have a connection. Just they know each other's. They know Ben knows where he's going to be. Let's put it that way.
Extra point missed after this touchdown, 42-34. Monroe on the throwback.
How do they sit there and let that
forever?
He sit there forever. Just like there's no pass rush going on.
So like I said, they're playing a cushion defense. I don't know what they're doing.
All right, so I'll watch what happens. So watch the other. So the corner on the other side chases man across the underneath, and then the receiver just runs into him and pretty much blocks him. Look, boop, he's blocking him down the field. He's blocking him down the field. That's how they got open.
That'll do it.
The receiver blocking everybody down the field. That made it 42-34. Then the Bulldogs score again here. Shannon going to the Wildcat with Ryan Thompson.
Yeah, just again, it was the Ryan Thompson show up there tonight. Him and Surratt with only 2. Ryan, did he have 4? He has 3 receiving, 1 running, and then he had 1 call back too. So.
Did Norwood play? 49-40. Here's a run for the Monroe quarterback, and he gets in for the score.
That was right after Burns had scored. Monroe had a big kickoff return, and this was the next play, so it was like pretty much back-to-back. Monroe just would go away. Burns could not put him away until the very end when Lamont Wilson got the interception right here.
Here's the interception to end the game.
And who was that?
What were they wanting interference for? Somebody hold somebody?
The back of the end zone, somewhere on that corner. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to find
people from
there yet.
Nowhere.
Unless it was on off screen there. Maybe Thompson pushed him or
The
something.
guy in the middle is triple teamed. Unless that's what they're talking about. But yeah, well,
They might be
whatever.
talking about it. Here's look like a little hold on the fourth side right here on the outside corner.
Oh, right there
Right,
at the top.
yeah, right. Look like a little grab right there.
Picks for Lamont Wilson to end the ball game. And the Bulldogs win 49-40, and they'll be going up to Reedsville next week. All right, scores across the board. We've got to take another break. Mount Airy in the 1A wins 35-17, the 4 over the 1. They'll be hosting the Drone Wildcats, who won 6. I mean, the number 6 CGs. I need to read stuff before I say it. 42-21 Drone over Andrews, guys. Drone goes to Mount Airy in the 1A West Finals next week.
And Andrews was the number 2 seed, Kevin. That's a big upset.
Right. The 1 and the 2 went down tonight in the 1A. So the 1 seed in the 2A wins 34-7. That's the Reedsville Rams over the 5 seed Maiden Blue Devils. Reedsville will host the Burns Bulldogs next week. We'll have that live video coverage
Well, who's
as
the 2
well.
seed if Burns is the 3 seed?
You don't have them.
I got it. So what now?
Who's
the 2 seed
seed
in y'all's
2A?
bracket?
Who was the 2 seed?
East Surrey.
Yeah,
East
East
Surrey,
Surrey.
yeah.
Who?
East Surrey.
You gotta be kidding me.
Same team. We played last year at the red uniform.
Yeah, they went to the West Finals last year. What do you mean you
we
gotta
played
kid
them in the
me?
Western Finals last year.
And they beat Monroe.
They should have been in the
that
Western
last year.
Finals last year.
Well, they were.
They beat Monroe to get there.
They beat Monroe to get there.
Don't make sense.
That's
how they
pretty
beat
good.
Monroe either.
We got some good teams in the 2 and 3As. I mean, it's pretty stacked once you get this far. East Surrey's the 2A. They got beat by Monroe. So Burns could have been on the road tonight at East Surrey if they wouldn't have pulled it off. So Bulldogs win. They'll go to Reedsville next week. In the 3A, South Point in the last 2 weeks has won by a grand total of 4 points.
Hey, that's all it takes, man.
Don't remind me.
And they're going to Denver next week to take on the Mustangs, who won tonight by every bit they wanted. 46-20 East Lincoln over Kings Mountain tonight. So the Mustangs get a home game again to go to the state championship. So we've in the past 10 years, we've seen East Lincoln in a championship. We've seen South Point. We've seen Riesel. Haven't had Burns. Haven't had Drone. I believe Mount Airy might have made one. Reynolds tonight, they move up to the 4A, and they almost pull off the upset at home. Well, they didn't upset. They were higher rated than Weddington. So they were the 7 seed, lost at home to the 9 seed, Weddington Warriors 17-10. And then Grimsley, and what everybody's talking about is the game of the year here on the interweb, overtime, triple overtime. They win 40-37 over Huff. Huskies, the 1 seed Grimsley Whirlies, will host the number 9 seed Weddington Warriors in the Western Final. So 1 seed's still alive, Reidsville and Grimsley. They'll be playing a 7 seed, a 3 seed, and then in the 3As, the 4 hosts the 11, and in the 1A, the 4 host the 6. All right, JP, we'll be back in a minute. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Just in Time Plumbing is a leading residential and commercial service company. Family owned and operated, serving Cleveland and Gaston counties. They handle bathtub and vanity installation, new home construction plumbing, commercial sinks, Rinnai tankless water heaters, water line and drain repairs, gas piping, jetter services, and more. And they offer project financing. Their licensed professionals provide first-class service, on time, on budget, 24/7. Call 704-600-8350 for free estimates. Just in Time Plumbing every time. 107 South City Street in Kings Mountain. The Dodge Black Friday sales event is underway at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Shelby. Get $1,500 retail consumer cash on the new 2022 Dodge Durango models, plus $750 Chrysler Capital bonus cash when financed through Chrysler Capital. Don't miss it, the Dodge Black Friday sales event going on now at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, located at 1310 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. When it comes to taxes, you need to see the tax professional. That's Noah Kay at Numbers Bookkeeping and Income Tax Service in Shelby. And if you've gotten a little letter from the IRS, come see Numbers. Get the advantage. They'll help you take advantage of the credits and deductions that you deserve. Just call 704-484-2783. See Noah Kay at Numbers Bookkeeping and Income Tax Service, 707 South Lafayette Street in Shelby. They are there for you. Since 1968, Putnam Distributors in Patterson Springs has been serving this area with a full line of automotive products, including oils, transmission fluids, antifreeze, filters, chemicals, parts, and supplies for all types of automobiles and trucks, with many brands to choose from. They sell to individuals or wholesale. Just visit the walk-in counter. Putnam Distributors, 1626 Peterson Drive off Highway 180 south of Shelby. Call 704-487-9395 or visit the website at PutnamDistributors.com. Putnam Distributors in Patterson Springs, offering quality automotive parts and supplies for over 50 years. The 30th anniversary sale continues at S&R Auto Sales in Shelby. Come check them out all year long with some great anniversary specials. Find out how easy it can be for you to be one of their satisfied customers. Yes, 30 years ago, Susie and Richie started S&R Auto Sales, striving to give you the best deal possible on a quality pre-owned vehicle. See them today at 417 South Post Road in Shelby, online at srautosales.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too. That's S&R Auto Sales in Shelby. Shelby Hardware is ready for the holidays. For those holiday bills, take a look at the King Cooker Turkey Fryers, starting at $129.99, and the new line of fish fryers, starting at $143.99. Get your lodge cookware, case knives, and Christmas flags. Shelby Hardware has fire pit rigs for outdoor fun, along with Marlin Pro Cutlery. Do like Santa, shop and save for everyone on your Christmas shopping list at Shelby Hardware, 506 South Lafayette Street in Shelby. Celebrating lives and healing grieving hearts. That's the theme of the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Falston, and the Stamey Cherryville Funeral Home on Dixie Street in Cherryville. Their staff is committed to providing your family with the highest quality care and service in your time of need. For more information, visit the websites at StameyTysingerFuneralHome.com and StameyCherryvilleFuneralHome.com, both giving you the gift of comfort for you and your family. If you're a fan of HGTV and you might be looking for some of the products shown on the show, well, we've got good news. Most of the flooring products on HGTV can be found right here in Shelby at Willis Flooring. Come check out their lines of nationally known flooring products, hardwoods, laminates, sheet vinyl, vinyl plank, Cortec flooring, also carpet by Mohawk, Shaw, and more. And one of the largest selections of tile in this area. Willis Flooring, 2247 Kings Road in Shelby. Call 980-404-0065. Like them on Facebook too.
And we're back on the Full Throttle Power Sports Post Game Show with Kevin, Will, Dennis, Shannon, and
You're right.
All right, we're gonna go.
Steve.
You're right.
We're gonna go around the room for a few minutes, and
let's go around the room.
Let's go around the room. All right, we're gonna start with Shannon. Final thoughts, ideas, anything you wanted to mention tonight about tonight's games and scores? Did you want to talk about or anything?
No, I just again give credit to Ryan Thompson. I think he's the best player maybe in 2A in the state of North Carolina. I like that kid playing football. He's really good.
I like him a lot.
Will?
Well, it's just a strange season. People in the playoffs that you didn't think was them. People just got beaten. First of the year, we was talking about Dudley. Ain't nobody gonna beat Dudley. End of the year, South Point done beat Dudley. They're going to play East Lincoln for a chance to run at the state. Really great year. I've very much enjoyed watching the games this season. It's been some really good football play this year.
Dennis, this week, thoughts?
Man, it has been a season, a roller coaster up and down. We started off the first of the year, and we thought Kings Mountain was going to just whoop everybody. Steve, no difference, but they took care of Shelby, and we said, well, here they go. They're off to win a state championship. How'd that work out for them tonight? Some of the highlights of tonight, Drone. I want to give a shout-out to Drone. Absolutely. We have kicked that team to the curb for years, and here they are playing in the Western Finals tonight. So congratulations to all those Drone folks. Burns, you took care of business tonight. You didn't let it slip through your fingers. You beat a very, very tough, well-coached team in Monroe Redhawks. They're not a number 7 team. They're much better than that, and you are better than a number 3 team. Look forward to seeing what you can do with the traditional favorite in Reidsville. We talk about going to Belmont and how tough it is to win there. Reidsville's no picnic either. Know you're behind 14 points when you get off the bus. And to East Lincoln, we didn't know about the competition you'd played this year if you could measure up. Everybody talked about Kings Mountain, their offensive line, their defensive line. East Lincoln, I'll take off my hat to you. You guys proved tonight that you were capable of playing with anybody in the 3A level. South Point's going to be an interesting thing for you tonight. I have to say, I'll give compliments to South Point. They've had a little help along the way. We won't talk about last week's officiating, Shannon.
Red Devils.
But they're going to have their hands full with East Lincoln. East Lincoln's going to have their hands full with South Point, who plays an entirely different style. I don't know that they've seen anything like that. Wouldn't surprise me if South Point beat them. Wouldn't surprise me if East Lincoln did to them what they did to Kings Mountain. And that's what I would have to say about these games and next week. Stand by. You never know. That's why the playoffs are such an exciting time of the year. Steve, take it away.
Well, fellas, I'm sort of really upset about the whole season. Here again, I want to apologize to the Shelby community for our kids not even getting off at the bus at Burns. I finally took them home Monday because we stayed on the bus the whole weekend. Never got off the bus. But here again, even Alabama, sometimes you just can't win it all. But we got some young men coming back next year who we'll start back in the weight room in January to let, because you can only remember your last game. And I remember before when we lost to Hendersonville, we used that as our motivating factor to get the championship that we got last year. So that's probably the way we're handling that this year. And for us, the Burns Bulldogs go, hats off to the Burns Bulldogs. You know, Coach David Devine, he's a great man. I've been saying that all year. Coach Devine went to Burns, came to Shelby, went back to Burns, you know, to get his own name, to make his own imprint. Everybody wants to make their own imprint on their own program, and he's done that. He's took a bunch of guys, young men who want to win, who have the will to win, and they want to win. And I hope they go to Reesville and beat them. There's nothing better. I would love to watch them beat Reesville. But like you said, Dennis, they're gonna be 14 when they get off the bus. And the Crest Chargers, they had a great year. And Tater, he was a good football player for that Crest. I still say that I wish they'd have kicked the field goal. Maybe get that young man a chance to beat South Point at South Point. But then now we got the Red Raiders. They start 8, 9 years on run that red bone.
Yeah, they run that red bone for a
and
while.
so by the time this young man, he's only a sophomore, he done handed it off 1,000 times. He done looked at that. He done looked at that defensive end, and if that defensive end come in, he gonna keep it. If that defensive go out, he gonna give it to the fullback. So that's gonna be a good game too up at East Lincoln. And I guess I'll probably go to that game, East Lincoln and South Point. And I really enjoyed being here with y'all guys this year. I've learned a lot. Most important thing, I just thank God for letting me be here to do this with y'all guys. And I don't think I can do anything else. I thought about retiring one time, but I think I retired for one day.
Well, we like having you, Steve. And go ahead.
And I just don't think I can do anything else. And I know the people that be listening, I know Kevin is trying to do a great job to bring y'all information, otherwise that you wouldn't get just by reading the newspapers. So all y'all guys, sponsors, continue to sponsor this radio station so we can do what we do and give the information to y'all. But
you can get information from newspapers?
Not like you can earlier.
No, not anymore. So couple of comments. Steve, I know you guys are down the dumps because you went 7-5. I, in my life, have not won 7 football games.
all together.
in my life, Steve. All together. Yes. In my whole life.
I won't tell nobody that.
Well, I'm trying to tell y'all that. So the folks that we're used to winning, we're used to doing this. You got a winning season. I would never shut up if I'd have went 7-5 again.
And that's no lie.
I think I had 3 wins at Cherryville varsity, a couple in Pop Warner, and we had one good Pop Warner year where they couldn't touch us. But the after that, we had a good junior high team that I didn't play on that one year, and but other than that,
maybe that's why it was good.
Yeah, I know, right? No, I was a young one on that one. I was too young. I wouldn't have got no playing time, so I did something else. Played golf. That team was stacked. I thought they won. Roberts, the ones that scored up, those beating y'all 6-0. What are you talking about?
Do what?
Ralph and Gary, that team that was beating y'all 6-0.
Oh yeah.
For how long?
The next kickoff.
Next play.
Yeah, about
a minute. Don't worry about that. Y'all worry about the details. See, we having fun getting beat 6-60. Y'all over here throwing a funeral at 7-5.
They want to try to run our coach off of him. Now different. Right? We go 7-5.
You'd get a bronze you'd get a bronze statue going 7-5 in Bessemer and Cherryville for 5 straight years. There you go. Dude, I'm just saying, perspective. You guys will be okay. I promise you. East Lincoln and South Point. I kind of talking in the press box, talking to some of you guys. The key, I think, Stephen, you may be able to agree, is the East. And you just said Matt has saw it. Matt's not really the defensive coordinator, has been. So I know he's seen it, but the player's seen it. I think is such a key thing. Is that like when you guys when you have Dax Hollyfield in there and then say, hey Dax, you've seen this, and the next year you go and see them, oh well, you can make some adjustments here. These guys have never played against it. And right. I worry that they're gonna have some like Dudley. Right. Dudley scored 40-something on them or 50 on them, didn't they? They just gave up 70. There's no way East Lincoln's gonna give up that, right? In fact, tonight, Kings Mountain, Steve, 20. They scored the most points anybody scored on them all year. Nobody scored 3 touchdowns on East Lincoln all year, and Kings Mountain did it tonight. So, however you want to put your hat on that,
I think they had some of the reserves in.
No, it was still they was their starters. They was still in there.
So, talking to some people before the game, Kings Mountain at 20. That's about where I thought they'd be. I thought it was gonna be like 20-14. I thought we was gonna have a low scoring, battle it out. I did not see them getting gashed up like that. Did you see?
East Lincoln played really great football tonight.
Yes.
But Kings Mountain struggled last week and this week. I mean, I get it. East Lincoln, you can't, the bus that play, they run up the middle and go 80 yards from a touchdown. But Kings Mountain did some things on offense that they ain't been doing. They turned over the ball a lot. This ball control. Who can control
the last
the
2
ball?
weeks they turned it over. Yeah.
They turned it over a lot the last 2 weeks. And we knew they couldn't play the same game they played last week. They couldn't go down 19 points.
Well,
we said that last week. They couldn't go down 19 points and then try to take.
Well, none of us saw 90 yards, 50 yards, 60 yards, 40 yards, 50 yards, 80 yards, whatever number.
I hate to bring it up, but if you watched the NC State and Carolina game today,
Lord, only one time.
We didn't always listen to it.
It was that kind of situation where they couldn't get a handle on State, and State kept giving them opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. They couldn't seize it. I like the May kid, but last week's performance and this week's performance, don't talk to me about no Heisman.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's no need to
It's
even
over.
mention.
It's a wrap now.
It's a wrap
Did
now.
y'all look up? Did y'all say y'all had 72's number a minute ago? Did y'all look him
Yeah,
up? Josh Gilbert, 6'6", 340.
And they said they got one of them bigger than him.
That boy a biscuit away from 400
Oh,
pounds.
man,
I think he
can
like
move.
living in Bowling
Hey,
Springs.
What?
And Will, he can move pretty good,
He
too.
moved pretty
We
good.
saw it.
Yeah, we seen
44
it.
saw every bit of him.
44.
44.
When that
44 got a load
Who was
of it.
44 for King Mike?
You want me to call his name out after that?
He pancaked him.
He did.
Listen, let me say this. I have really enjoyed this season with all you guys. I know it's coming to a close. We got like a week or two left.
One basically.
One week left.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening to the pregame and everything, the whole shows. You guys are great. Y'all like family. I love it. I love the Friday nights here. We're gonna have to find something else to come and conversate about on Friday nights. I feel like the barbershop is closed.
We got basketball.
I can do basketball, Kevin.
But I just want to tell y'all, thanks, man. It's good to be home. I'm glad I'm back home. It was great.
Yeah, we missed you
spending
for a
this-
year or two there.
So you're not living up in Raleigh no more? You're not
No,
up there?
no.
Okay,
I'm not.
good.
No, he's in rough.
44 is poor Thomas Fair. So Thomas
Fair.
Thomas Fair.
Sorry, buddy.
And
It was a good block. It was
trying
a
to
good
get a
block.
job
It
at
was a good
Thomas
block.
Jefferson.
It was a good block.
let me give.
What?
He's trying to get a job at Thomas Jefferson.
Will.
Let me say one more thing
Yes, sir.
to my nephew, Josh Barker. Stay out of 72's way next week. He play offense, you play defense. I do not want you coming back broke up. We got a whole life to live at this ball game. Stay out of 72's way.
350 coming your way.
That boy a biscuit away from 400 pounds.
But he wear number 72.
Yeah.
The fridge.
That's my number.
Wait
That's
a
what
minute.
made me notice him when I look around.
That's
I seen
what made you
that-
notice him?
That big,
Yeah.
I seen that big
Not the
72.
340 pounds.
If
I-
he'd
I
have
seen
had
him.
on, if he'd have had on 2, you would have noticed it.
But not like
He was so big, I thought he was wearing 12.
he.
like this.
They did. They stretched it. They stretched it.
He could have had 3 numbers. He didn't need
Zip
2.
code.
His number should have been 172.
They had a zip code. He probably got an East Lincoln zip code somewhere
That was
tattooed on
That
it.
was a good block. All right, guys. Final scores. Let's go across these real quick. Shannon, will you read these final scores for everybody?
Oh, before we get that, Kevin,
What
I
you
just want to mention one thing. I have to give credit where credit is due, Will. We have fussed and complained and griped behind his back all year about the What's Up Shopper prep
not just
football
this year.
PowerPoint standing.
Not just this year.
Kings Mountain ain't played nobody. I mean, East Lincoln ain't played nobody. That's what I've
Who
heard.
the
all
number
year.
one team is.
They have been for 7 weeks.
I have a feeling number 3 is going to be moving up to number 2.
Yep.
And number 5 may be moving up to number 3.
For sure.
But I would say, folks, if you hadn't heard about the team over at East Lincoln that's 14-0, you will hear about them this coming week. Kevin, take it away.
Well, there's your I was pulling them up there. There was your power poll for this week. Of course, Kings Mountain and Maiden going down. Burns improves to 13-1. They'll be 3. South Point 13-1 will be 2. And then East Lincoln for about the 10th straight week now, 14-0, 42 points. And the one thing, real quick, I did want to point out to anyone, Will and guys, when we've talked about it all year, anytime anybody says who have they played, my answer has been it doesn't matter. They're giving up 5 points a game. Like, we've seen defenses, state championship defenses these past few years, guys. All the ones that gave up less than 100 pretty much won the state.
Yep, this is true.
They've given up now 87 in 14 games, whatever the math is on that. I'll do it real quick here.
And the most they gave up was
6.
tonight.
They're averaging 6 a game.
Wow.
The most this tonight. The only one other game they give up more than one score. So in 14 games this year, one game they gave up 2 touchdowns, and then the other game they gave up 3. The rest of them was 1 or less. So the defense guys, I know they gashed Kings Mountain on offense tonight. Still, this defense leads this team.
Defense set their offense.
Yeah, well, they got the pick 6 to start it off.
Yeah.
Returned to punt. So that's basically 14 points right there from your defense.
Well, even back in Coach Allen's defense win championships for you.
Yes,
because your defense turns into offense. Because if you got a good defense, you can take them defensive turnovers and immediately make points. With it.
It's been said a long time ago. Game of football is about field position.
Right.
Your defense always sets your offense up with good field position.
Here's a stat you need to know.
Offense sell tickets, but defense wins the game.
Before this past year or two, how many teams makes the playoffs in the NFL? 12. It's 14 now. For the first 55 Super Bowls, 50 of the 55 Super Bowls was a top 12 defense. Only 5 teams ever won it without being one of those top 12 defenses. So, like you guys said, defenses, look at this defense, this Kings Mountain, this East Lincoln team, 6 points a game, folks. All right, Shannon, read the final scores. I'm going to go hit a couple of buttons while y'all do that, and JP wraps you guys up.
All right, so in the 1A, it was Mount Airy 35 upsetting Eastern Randolph 17, and Jerome Wildcats defeated the Andrews Wildcats 42-21. Sets up next week. Jerome will be at Mount Airy. In the 2A, it was Maiden falling to Reedsville 34-7, and Burns beating Monroe 49-40. So next week, Burns will be traveling to Reedsville for the finals in the Western 2A. So, yeah. And in 3A, it was South Point edging out Eastern Guilford 28-25, and the other side of the bracket, it was East Lincoln defeating Kings Mountain 46-20. So next week, it will be South Point traveling over to East Lincoln. And in the 4A, it was Grimsley in overtime defeating the Huff Huskies 40-37. And up in the mountains, Weddington defeated AC Reynolds 17-10, which next week the 4A finals will be Weddington at Grimsley.
All right, next week, KDCBroadcasting.com, East Lincoln on LincolnCounty.com, WCSL 1590 AM, 92.9 FM will host South Point. And the Burns Bulldogs will be on the radio, 101.5 FM, 1390 AM, and live YouTube, KTCBroadcasting.com. All right, JP, everybody else at home, thanks. Have a good night. See you next Friday night on KTCBroadcasting.com.
We just came to win. We do it pregame next week.